absolutely.
Why do you love football? Tell me why.
Because it's a competitive game. You're battling your skills against other people's skills. As a youngster, I was a better cricket player, and I represented my county at cricket. But football, it's just 90 minutes of exerting yourself, enjoying yourself, scoring goals, winning. It's all crammed into that 90 minutes, and it's brilliant, excellent.
So, at some point you went from cricket to football. Did you have to make a choice as a younger person?
No, I didn't. You don't have to make a choice because the ones played at a different time of the year. But cricket was because I'd been playing football a little bit, not for a very good side. I was playing football, and the enjoyment was much more than playing cricket. And plus, by that time, my friends wasn't playing cricket, so I'm missing out if they're going away for the weekend or just going away for the day. I'd have to play cricket, and I thought, no, I don't want to do that anymore.
So were you influenced by your friends? Had your friendship group been different? You might have ended up not playing football to the extent you did on maybe playing a different thing?
I was influenced because they was doing something that I wanted to do, and so that's why I done it. Why I packed up doing that. They used to go away in the football season, but by that stage, football was top of the list for me. So they can go away. I'll join them later.
Did you grow up in Enfield?
No, I'm a Dagenham boy.
So in terms of memorabilia and playing at Enfield, what means the most to you?
Just being able to play for a side like Enfield. Yeah. It's by being one of the best clubs in the country, to be playing in that side. There must be. You have to have something that you've got that enables you for the manager to play you. And having done that, it's playing for the. You look at it. I've played for the best side, one of the best sides in the country.
How did you used to celebrate goals?
If I scored a goal,
yeah,
I would just run away from everybody, stick my hands up in there so the players knew who had scored, and so did the crowd. Peter McGillicuddy used to say to me, when you score a goal, you run away. He said, in the first couple of times you've done that, he said, by the time I got you, I was absolutely cream crackered. He said, he said, after that, you used to score a goal, I'll see you in the halfway line. Because that was what I used to do. It's just letting people know who scored the goal, just in case there's any doubt in their mind. Yeah. And I just leg it.
Was diving the same when you were playing football as it is now?
No, nowhere near. Nowhere near. No, it is. Football now is dreadful. You see a corner being taken now at pro football, and they're virtually fighting with one another, dragging one another apart or whatever. In nowadays, it would either been a penalty or a free kick. And for me, that's what they've got to do. They've got to, the referees now have got to, well, it's not so much the referees, it's the committee and the organisation that the referees are accountable to, that they step in and say, if somebody is holding somebody else, then you either make a penalty out of it or you give a free kick to the defending side. But it has to happen because it's now getting ridiculous. The two players are virtually wrestling one another on the floor.
Yeah. Do you think the refs aren't as strong?
They're quite strong, but I think it's the organisation behind them that are weak.
Yeah.
Because the referees will only take notice of the organisation of referees committee.
Do you remember winning your first ever trophy?
Yes.
What was it like?
It was a small cup like that, and that was boy football, and got a medal to go with it. And well, you would always keep hold of them, but it's really got pride of place in my my football career. To have your first medal, it was, wow, gee, that's brilliant.
How old were you?
13.
And yeah, and do you remember?
And that was quite young then. Now, I think they've got 8-year-old teams and stuff like that. But then there wasn't that many teams about that at 8 years.
And do you know anyone now that you used to play football with when you were 13?
Yes, a fellow called Davy Guyver, who I used to play with him at Barking. He played for Ilford, and I still see him now.
And do you see anyone else that you were friends with when you were that age, or is it just him?
Unfortunately, another fellow, the fellow called Jimmy Wilson, passed away. But really, those were the only two I still see, or used to see.
Football seems to create this kind of bond between blokes.
Absolutely.
In a way that nothing else does.
Absolutely, yes. It is. It's like schoolboys. We're adults, but when we're together on our own, we do so many things that are funny, that can not get you in trouble that much, but to go in the dressing room. One example, this is nothing to do with Enfield. This is when I was playing for Dagenham. A fellow called John Evans, unfortunately, who's passed away. We always used to muck about, and this young boy came in, a fellow called Stuart Lucas, came into the side, and we said to him, "Where are you going to sit?" He said, "I'll sit with you." So he went, "Okay." So he sat down, and that was fine. The next game, the manager told him to get away from us two. So he went and sat over the other side of the room, in the dressing room. So Johnny Ford and I picked our stuff up and put it either side. He said, do not sit next to me, so I'm in trouble with the manager. So we said, "That's all right, we'll sort it out." He said, "No," he said, "Look, just go and sit back over there." So we did. The manager come in, and Johnny Ford said, "Why has he got to sit over there? Why can't he sit there?" And this Stuart Lucas has just shrunk in his seat as if, "Oh, geez, I don't need you to do that." So I'm trying to, this was his second game in the first team. But he really, and that was, in hindsight, that's wrong, but we thought it was hilarious.
Boys.
Exactly. And that is no different. You can be 11 or you can be 41. A collective body of boys are men, supposedly men, but when they're together, they're boys.
When you stopped playing, did you ever think of going into sort of managing or coaching or anything like that?
Yes, I took my coaching badge. My last year here, I took my coaching badge with Eddie McCluskey, and I got my coaching badge, preliminary coaching badge, which I used. I had a period of time using that with Fulham FC. In Dagenham we had an area where you would have scouts going around looking at boys football, and they would then be asked if they wanted to come along of a Wednesday evening, where I and another guy, John Martin, used to coach the boys. Out of that, one of them was, I forgot his name. It's gone. Anyway, he ended up playing for England. Paul Parker. Yes. Amazing that is. Is it written on the back of my head? But he came out of, because he played for Fulham and then went to Manchester United, and he came through the coaching system that we have on a Wednesday night. Yes, there was a couple of boys as well. That was towards the sort of the end of the era of where quite a few boys come out of the east side of London.
What does it take to be a really good coach?
I think you have to have a good knowledge of the football initially, and you have to be man-managed. Even though they're boys and they're doing something wrong, the last thing you need to do is holler and shout at them. So you speak to them about it, tell them where they're going wrong, and encourage them to do it and enjoy it.
Do you think football actually, in some way, teaches you sort of discipline or a way to manage yourself?
I think it does to an extent, but it depends how good you are. if you're successful at it, then obviously it does work in that way. But if you're not that good at it, then you can leave it alone. And whereas initially you might have that ability to do it, but if you're not successful, then it does, I think, not cause a problem, but it doesn't help.
But it's somewhere to be. It's somewhere for a lot of boys and girls that haven't got anywhere to go. Do you think it gives them something to do?
Oh yeah, but I think it's one of the things that, as things have materialised, that whereas before if you was about 13 or 14, then a pro side may come in and say, look, we'll take. Now they take them as 8-year-olds. They may be successful at it, but for me as an 8-year-old, they just want to enjoy it. They don't want to be. To a certain extent, they have to be disciplined, but not to the extent that they do at the moment, I don't think.
So do you think for a young person today it's almost been ruined, like that kind of ambition in football has almost spoilt the game for them?
Yes, yeah, I do. I know of a relation of mine. He was, I think he was 9, and he was mentioned about going to West Ham on their academy, and they stopped him from playing any other football. He said, but I want to play football with my mates. And they said, well, you either come to us or you play with your mates. I'll play with my mates, thank you very much. And that's it. At that age, an 8-year-old, they don't need to be told, no, you can't play that, you can't do that, in sport-wise. If they want to do it, encourage them. And again, for me, that comes out of the coaching side, where you encourage them to do it. But most of the sports you pick up and you play with somebody. And that somebody is a friend, and you go on from there. But to be told, no, I can't swim with you, I can't play cricket with you because I'm playing for these. And if you're just allowed to do the coaching with them, you lose the competitive side of it. I think from the late 60s up into the early 80s, they were one of the best sides in the country, without a doubt. And it's difficult to play for a side that is not in your sort of league, and the ability that enables you to play in one of the best sides in the country.
Did a lot of the players live in Enfield that you played with, or did they travel in?
Travelled in, most of them travelled in. The same as playing for Hendon. You would have people from West London, South London, North London, East London. But when I was playing for Barking and Dagenham, most of the players came from East London. Mm. But because of Enfield and Hendon being that good, then they was able to draw from all over.
But then you bonded as a group, as a team, and then it did become like the pride of Enfield.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. When you look at some of the people would come from Wickham, from Tooting. Yeah, it's not a million miles away, but it is a journey, as opposed to when I used to play for Dagenham and Barking, it was a 10-minute ride away. That you play football and enjoy. So we enjoy it from the moment you kick your first ball to the moment you kick your last ball, you enjoy. But when you get older, you end up paying for it. I have had 3 hip replacements. I've had 2 knee operations. But if I had to go back and they said to me, that's what you're going to have at the end of your football, I said, I'll be right up the front saying, I'm in.